What if I told you that Toyota's GT3 concept could very well be the next Lexus LFA? Last month, Toyota unveiled some really cool things and exciting things at the Tokyo Auto Salon. We got the GRMN Yaris, we got some customized vehicles on the Lexus and Toyota end, but the biggest thing for me was the GT3 concept. Not only does it look just extremely menacing and drool-worthy, since it's a GT3 car, that means it has to have a production vehicle tied alongside of it. Now, currently, Toyota and Lexus are using the RCF that's been heavily modified to fit into the GT3 racing standards, but Toyota doesn't want to retrofit something into a GT3 car. They want to build a GT3 car that could also be a production car. And here we have Koji Sato, president of Lexus, one of the heads also of Gazoo Racing, and then we have Akio Toyoda, president of Lexus, etc. And what we have in the background here as they talk about the GT3 and the GRMN Yaris, we actually have 3 LFAs. A little white one on the right. When we go to the left, we have what could be a couple Nürburgring editions. Akio asked Koji, so what's going on here? Just a concept car you whipped up for the Tokyo Auto Salon? Koji says, the real deal. Very serious. We're displaying it as a concept car, but it satisfies regulations and technological requirements. So we've already begun development. Koji goes on to say, how much am I able to reveal here? I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but we'll have a prototype by the end of the year. Now, if we go to Sports Car 365, they have the GT3 concept is an inspiration for future Lexus entry. They were able to sit down with Lexus Motorsports manager Jeff Ball and Toyota Racing Development President David Wilson, who are quite confident of having a successor to the RCF and GT3, saying the GT3 concept is likely to serve as inspiration for a future Lexus GT3 car. When asked if the GT3 concept would be a sign of what's to come for Lexus, Wilson said, the easy answer is yes. You can connect the dots and be pretty optimistic. And for me, connecting the dots, as I look at the back end of this vehicle, this screams LFA to me with these shapes underneath the rear taillights. Wilson said he's quite confident there will be a successor to the RCF. From a timeline standpoint, we don't know yet. We're in our 6th year with the RCF. It's getting long in the tooth, but if you check the FIA homologation website, it's homologated through 2026. He says that would be a worst case scenario. I'm hopeful of seeing something well before that. Ball mentioned that the new GT3 could debut in 2024, although it has yet to be confirmed. That's the target right now, Ball said. They're making great progress on the development of the car. We're hoping for 2024 and testing before that. So whether it's a Toyota or Lexus, I'm going to say that it's a Lexus because this thing is going to be very expensive. We're going to see the LFA potentially by 2024 or whatever they decide to call it. I'm going to say that this is the LFA2 that's been rumored coming out of Japan for a long time. Ball goes on to say, we're hoping it's got an L on the front of it and on the back. Well, we don't know if it'll have an L on the back because the recent Lexus trend is to get rid of the Lexus badge and just write Lexus on the back. But yes, there would still be an L for the letter in Lexus. Anyways, he says we're hoping that it is a Lexus. There's a lot of equity in the F moniker, especially now that we're having success on the track. And we'll talk more about the future of F at the end of this video. Wilson said Lexus' level of recent success in IMSA has ensured a long-term future for the brand in top-level sports car racing. Unlike the RCF, which is essentially reverse engineered into a GT3 car, Wilson indicated that the next generation GT car will be designed and built in parallel to the future production model. I've talked a lot about the car that we're racing right now, and it has served as a critical lesson for Toyota globally in the right way to bring a GT3 car to the market. Unfortunately, with the RCF, that was an afterthought. The production vehicle came first, and the thought was, well, why don't we race this car? What I can assure you is that whatever comes from the concept, and more than likely there's something behind it, it's going to be done very intentionally and strategically. So let's tie in what we know about the GT3 concept from Gazoo Racing and what we know about this Lexus LFA2 that's been rumored to come out around 2025. The racing team saying that it could be 2024 at the earliest, so the timelines are kind of matching up here. So we're at Best Car Web, Japanese scoop site and magazine. They're saying it will be born in 2025. It's planned to be FR, so front engine rear wheel drive, and is a plug-in hybrid model equipped with the powertrain V8, the 4-liter twin turbo plus electric motors. So, I mean, this has been rumored for a long time, at least a twin turbo V8. And then it was assumed that it was scrapped when the LCF was scrapped. There's still a possibility that the 4-liter twin turbo could be in the works. I don't know. I feel like it's more likely a twin turbo V6 with heavy electrification that would power the next LFA. They're saying it is lightweight with a carbon body, which obviously the GT3, as we look at it, is very lightweight with a carbon body. And you got to keep in mind, GT3 cars have a specific weight limit, but obviously the production cars don't have any sort of weight limit, as they need to have more safety technologies, airbags, more comfort features as well. So they're saying it'll have 950 PS, which is around, I don't know, 935 horsepower, which is by far the most we've ever seen on a Lexus vehicle. Still, the most we've seen on a Lexus vehicle is from the LFA, which had 563 horsepower in the Nürburgring package. So a big jump up here. Now, what came out a couple weeks ago is Toyota saying solid state batteries will be in a hybrid first. And this was confirmed in an interview with Autoline with Toyota's chief scientist, Gil Pratt. Toyota confirmed it will begin selling vehicles with solid state batteries by 2025. So it's quite possible that this hybridized LFA GT3 car could very well have solid state batteries. And before we get into the future of Lexus F models, which we have some good information here, what do you think about the GR GT3 being the LFA? Does it make sense to you? Are the dots connecting? I think there's an extremely strong likelihood that the next LFA is very well the GR GT3, and it could come by 2024, 2025 timeframe. I think hybrid is guaranteed, but twin turbo V8, at least in my opinion, is definitely a bit shaky there. All right, over at Motor One, they sat down with Andrew Gilliland, which is the Lexus general manager, and talking about the future of F and what F has been built on, especially with the 2UR 5-liter V8. Andrew says it's bulletproof. The thing ain't going to break. You really don't need to do much other than change oil and maintain it. We all know that, but he says it's also probably the last of it. Certainly in the IS 500, it's one of the selling points, but he can look in the customer eye and say, this is it. This is probably it. So the IS 500 and the RCF and the LC 500, as we have them right now, this is the last of the 2UR V8, and more than likely the last of any Lexus V8 in the future. There's still that small pipe dream of that twin turbo V8 happening in a potential LFA. I mean, I'm not going to get my hopes up for it. And Andrew says, my guess, so it's not a guess, is he knows very well what the future of F holds. He's saying you're going to see a lot of hybrid, and this is the bridge before you get to full electric. So we'll have probably a strong 5 or 6 years minimum, I would say, where you have hybrids as the torchbearers for the F performance brand of Lexus. And then later half of the 2020s, as Lexus becomes a fully electric brand by 2030, I could see all electric F cars probably starting around 2030. Is it possible they could bring them in before? Yes, but I think they would rather have solid state batteries as the linchpin and key performance technology for the F line. And lastly, he says the IS 500 is limited to a 4-year life cycle. So we have 2022, 3, 4, and 5. So 2025 will be the last model year of the IS 500. And then beyond that, there are some other powertrains. So beyond that, 2025 is also lining up with solid state batteries for high performance hybrids. So the pieces are starting to fall in place here, at least from my point of view, where the future of Lexus performance hybrids are heading with solid state batteries. That's all I have for you guys. Future of F is going to be sad without V8s, but we're going to be having higher performance models, probably twin turbo V6 with hybridization and solid state batteries. It's hard to say exactly. If you look at some of the things the Germans are doing, 4 cylinders and plug-in hybrids, I think you could still get a ton of performance with electrification mated to 4 cylinders, even though it's not a V8 and it's not going to invoke similar feelings. It's going to be fast as hell, and that's what Lexus kind of needs, a shot in the arm with performance, and hybrids are going to be that stopgap before they can put solid state batteries more than likely in their full battery electric F cars. If you enjoyed today's video and haven't hit the like button, Really appreciate that as always. And if you made this far and you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video on the future of Lexus, LFA, the F brand. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.